Okay, this is not entertainment. So if you want to be entertained, you should probably stop watching right about now. Not entertainment. Um, so I don't know. I don't know how long you can talk to yourself about this and think that you're gonna get it. I want you to get it. You know, I want it to be okay. I want you to be okay. Instead of you thinking, wow, you know, what a bunch of fucking shit. I mean, instead of you functioning in this other realm where you're doing things that you're not proud of, you know, you're just kind of off in the ethers, and it's interesting because I like Paxil and the Paxil and the Wellbutrin. I mean, they can only help you so much, and you can only take them for a certain amount of time before it becomes dangerous, and you know, you really shouldn't be putting your body through years and years and years of antidepressant use. And the thing that I worry about is I think about Lawrence. I think about the struggles that he had back right before you guys separated, and how he was just fucking losing his mind, and he was stone sober. He wasn't on anything. You know, not only had he been sober for 5 years from alcohol and um, narcotic, you know, his drugs, his street drugs, but he had been sober from prescription drugs. He wasn't on anything, and it was apparent to you that he needed to be on something. That it was like, you know, he could really benefit from um, Abilify. He was taking Abilify, and it was totally fucking him up, and he was tired all the time, and it killed his sex drive, and he hated it, and he was saying, and then, you know, he would tell you how much he hated it, and then when he quit Abilify cold turkey, he went through this god awful hell, and I'm talking about Lawrence. So he went through this hell, and you know, when he was withdrawing from it, well, that was the withdrawal, but you could tell that there was a manic episode that he was experiencing. There were frustrations that he was experiencing that were chemical imbalances that were affecting him to such a strong degree that they were just giving him a 1-2 punch, and he was fucking out of it. I mean, he couldn't tell who his friends were. He made you his enemy. I mean, it was just fuck. It was totally fucked up, and you knew it was fucked up, and it was unfortunate. And he said you dropped him off with a sigh, and you thought, well, you misinterpreted that, but based on the way he was acting, it wouldn't have been a surprise that you dropped him off, and you were like, oh fuck, because, you know, oftentimes he would tell you things, and you'd be like, Jesus Christ, you know, man, I can't believe he's behaving this way. He needs help. And you were friends at the time, so it was like you didn't want the conflict. You know, you get together with your friends to laugh and have fun, not to shout at each other. You know, it's just not. That's not having fun. That's not. Conflict is not fun. Conflict is not what your friends are for, and he was nothing but conflict, and it was just so sad. You know, I mean, he couldn't even comprehend the bureaucracy of what he was going through. I mean, in other words, he couldn't. It was almost like it didn't register with him that what he was partaking in was a bureaucratic system that was totally fucked to begin with. So, and he acted like it wasn't good customer service, and where's the customer service, and it, you know, like he was fucking at Toys R Us or something, you know. I mean, it was that sad. And so, you know, you think about yourself and your actions and the way you behave, and you know damn well that a pill isn't gonna cure. There's no magic pill. It's not gonna cure everything. It's not, you know, you're not gonna become a dreamboat because because of your Paxil or Wellbutrin. But oh God, it just feels easier said than done. It feels like, well, I'm without it, and then I'm back to the way I was, or I'm, you know, and I have to deal with that. I have to meditate, and I have to deal with that. And I don't know if back to the way you were is a dramatic statement. I mean, I'd like to think that you found yourself. I'd like to think that the Wellbutrin helped you realize something about what you were going through emotionally. I don't think that it was purely. Some of it was chemical, sure, but I think a lot of it was emotional, and I think that the Wellbutrin helped that. It helped you control that somehow. It was, you know, I mean, I don't know all the, you know, the drug interactions. The strongest drugs are the drugs most like ordinary brain chemistry. I wouldn't say that Wellbutrin is like ordinary brain chemistry. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's probably, you know, the mechanisms. I'm just not very familiar with the pharmacological properties, but there's a stimulant quality to it. Whatever. I mean, there's just something that you need to realize that it helped you. Now you know what it feels like to not have that compulsion. It's a realization, so that's a good thing. It just worries me. It worries me that I want the best for you, of course, you know, and I want you to. I don't want you to crash and burn. And I just, you know, with all these drugs and everything like that, and then certain actions, it's just hard to not critique what you're going through and look at it in a way where you know, you can find some improvement, and you can and you're assessing how it's been and how it's going, and you're like, well, I'm still behaving this way, and I'm still like this, I'm still compulsive like this, and it's such that I don't have to talk myself into it. I'm just there. And then I feel naked. I feel outside. You know, I feel like whatever it is, my biggest hopes and dreams, they're not in accordance to, you know, what I admire in other people, and what I where I hope to be. It's not congruous. The math doesn't quite add up, and I wish it would. You know, I really wish it would. I'm not saying that. You know, there are people that have skeletons in their closet, and there are people that have things, you know, that they would rather not talk about. But I just want you to. I don't. Number one, I don't want it to get you down. I don't want it to kill you. I don't want you to go, well, I'm like this, and therefore I'm just, you know, it's all fucked. I don't want you to keep going. I want you to function. First off, you know for a fact, and you can think of it right off the top of your head. You're thinking about it right now. You're thinking about an example of how, being outgoing and successful and talented and plugged in is a separate thing from the compulsion and the other thing that you're not very proud of, and that's, it's important to realize, because otherwise you revert to that old area where you're like, fuck, it just doesn't add up, man. I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not good enough. And that's not true. You have to fill yourself with more action in order for you to realize your fullest potential.